As you guys know, we start with the question of the day. And KP came up with this one. And he said, how many players will be kicked/quarantined from the bubble? Okay, who is going to be stupid? And how many of them will? And go ahead and start us off. How many have been so far?
Yeah, so we've had two players kicked out for just the most ridiculous reasons. One dude checked into his hotel, and then I guess he forgot he was at his hotel and walks out of his hotel to like go do whatever he was doing. And he said, "Okay, I went off campus. Now you have to be quarantined for 8 days or 6 days or whatever it was." And it's like, so he just stepped in, stepped out, and now he's whatever. And then the second guy, he decided to order delivery. And the delivery guy couldn't find his hotel room or his like specific drop-off point or whatever. Walks off campus to get his delivery driver. When he walks back in, security's like, "Hey, sorry, now you have to quarantine."
So when you say walks off campus, like how far are we talking? We talking about literally just outside the front door in like right outside the facility, or is it literally like a mile down the road?
Yeah, so you can walk outside of your hotel room. You can go out into your balcony. Then you can go on the hotel surface, like that area. But outside the hotel, I think it's like more than 6 feet off the pavement. You're now quarantined. And obviously, if you have contact with outside individuals besides that, that's another strike against you. So they're being kind of strict. They've adopted a lot of these rules from TBT, and I mean, as annoying and as childish as these babysitting protocols seem, it worked out for TBT. I mean, we'll see.
Well,
what happens
it worked out for the
though.
teams that played, but 5 teams it didn't work for.
Well, when you test positive for corona or otherwise, I mean.
Yeah, that was also only a
that
10-day
is-
situation, not a 90-day,
Yeah.
whatever it's going to be for the
Right.
NBA. But still, like, and I do get this. They have to make it strict, right? To make it so that they don't even want to, because how people work in general is we like to push the barriers, right? We like to push the line, right? Especially if you have kids, right? They push to the brink of where you are.
Whoa. High school kids have never tried to fight me on any rule that I've set.
Yeah, you as a teacher, right?
No
Exactly.
way.
So that makes it so that if they are strict, and it makes it so that walking into the parking lot is against the rules, going to the nightclub is probably not going to even be a conversation. Even though the nightclubs aren't open, but you get what I'm saying. Like they're not going to a house party in Orlando. They're with some friends that they know, or whatever. Like that's just not even a conversation starter. There's no, I'm running out to my car real quick just to grab something, and they don't keep track of them that hard, and all of a sudden they're gone for hours, and then they walk in with somebody that just walked out. I don't know, like they would try to find some sort of way. But now with this is that they don't even make it so that's possible. So I do get why they have to be strict, but at the same time, when you look at those rules, you're like, it's outside in the sun, the Orlando heat. I'm not getting corona in the middle of this Orlando heat outside.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and the thing is about it, like if they had more players test positive, because they put out like 322 player tests, and only 2 players came back positive. One was Russell Westbrook, and he's spending the time. He's not even in the bubble. Like he's not there. So I agree with you with like the whole like they have to be strict. They have to set the bar because people are going to push and push and push. But the NBA is doing a lot of like weird like gimmicky kind of things to keep the players involved, and they seem like. I don't know, like there's a bags tournament, there's horse competitions. You see Luka Doncic and the Mavericks shooting off the ceiling and kicking the ball behind their heads and doing a soccer move. They have 2K20 basketball games. I mean, they're doing Madden games. They're doing all kinds of things. And some of the players, Myers Leonard, a U of I alumni, so go Fighting Illini.
had to make the plug.
He decided to do his own competition. So he grabbed a full can of Coors Light beer, a 12-ounce can, showed the camera that it was full, and then shotgunned it appropriately in a fast fashion, because that's what college people do, or board athletes, and Jordan Clarkson from the previous league, like the Lakers, now I believe he's with the Pelicans. He said, "Why are you sipping those baby beers?" and grabs a tall boy and shotguns that. So now Myers Leonard and Jordan Clarkson are actively going back and forth with this shotgunning challenge, and I'm all here for it. I love seeing all this stuff. These NBA players messing around in different fashions. It's comical. All this stuff you see on social media.
Yeah, those are kind of like lower players, but yeah, what if you saw this competition between like LeBron and AD? Like, yeah. Now that would be viral. Like, people would be going nuts over LeBron versus AD chugging, like, shotgun challenge.
If it was LeBron, it would have to be like red wine or something, so it wouldn't be as exciting. But it would be
slap the bag. He's gonna do slap the bag.
LeBron would kill slap the bag. He might be the first person to puncture that bag. Honestly, he might be that.
yeah. I wouldn't want to be smacked by that. No thanks.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I would enjoy a bags tournament though. I like playing cornhole.
Yeah. So the one that was on the NBA circuit was CP3. I think he was playing a Shy. Gilius Alexander, I believe that's who he was playing. And CP3 ended up winning by 2 points, I think.
That makes sense, because CP3 is a good bowler.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So that makes sense that he'd be decent at bags.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, 2 people tested positive out of the 322 came. Like, that was it? That's the only 2 people that tested positive?
Of the new test, yeah. Like, obviously, Rudy Gobert.
Because the initial test, they had, 1 point something % of people had it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, very similar. And very similar numbers here. If you notice in the news and stuff, the CDC and different organizations are putting out, the coronavirus vaccine is kind of getting more weight and stuff. And I think that they're more or less doing this as precautionary, because as soon as that vaccine is pushed through, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these players wait a little bit so it's got more results or more people tested on it. But then I'm sure a lot of these players will have it, and then these testing and things will be gone. They won't even have to worry about it. Hopefully, obviously vaccines, they're kind of iffy on whether or not they're working the first couple of trial years or whatever. But it's all just precautionary.
Have you heard how they're doing the vaccine? This is a whole different side topic, but you brought it up. Have you heard how they're doing this vaccine?
I have not.
So this is the first vaccine where they're cloning the virus. So usually they take a dead virus or a weakened form of the virus to insert, as well with other things, to insert it so that your body can create the antibodies. Well, this time they're implementing for the first time a clone, which is really interesting to see how that pans out. If they could make it so that our body produces antibodies with just a clone of it.
And I'll be honest, if that's what's going on, that's the vaccine they're putting out right now, I'm not getting it. I'm gonna definitely wait. If I get fired, I get fired. But I will definitely wait. I'll wear a mask. I'll wear a full body germ-free suit, whatever it is. But I'm not.
Yeah, I'm sure there's multiple vaccines coming out. So I don't know if the one the CDC, our CDC is working on, is actually a clone. But I think it was Germany that was getting close to making a vaccine. That's what they were doing. Which I thought that was pretty interesting. Fair enough.
Definitely. And a couple other updates from the bubble. Okay, so Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler. I did not like Jimmy Butler for a long time. I don't know why. It was just I was a Jimmy hater when he was in Chicago. Probably just because he was from Chicago or went to Chicago. But this dude got checked into his hotel, went to practice, and he had 3 or 4 hours of downtime. So in his hotel room, in those little rooms that we showed you guys last week, he's dribbling a basketball the whole time through his whole hotel room, in between his couch or his bed and his desk, in the bathroom, just wherever he's at, dribbling. So apparently somebody from a lower level called in security, noise complaint. Security found out the room he was in, knocked on the door thinking they were going to tell a little kid. Turns out, star basketball forward Jimmy Butler.
And they walked out. Yeah, and they were like,
said,
"Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. My bad. I shouldn't have knocked. It's my fault."
Noise complaint on me. Noise complaint on me.
That's how that works.
That is hilarious.
I think the bubble's going well for the most part. The only thing that's kind of disheartening is that snitch hotline, which I mean, that's the whole thing that I don't get is like basically any player can call this number, and if you know another player that is disobeying the rules,
Mm-hmm.
you can basically tell on them with no like your likeness or your name doesn't get put out there. It's like no one knows you did it. So what is this to stop people from making up things so other star players can't play? Like, I mean, there's probably have to be some kind of evidence with it. But if I was, if I was smart and I'm on a team that is playing the Lakers next week and I need to win this game, LeBron might be doing some social distancing rule violations. I don't know.
Yeah, they would have to investigate it before.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, what if it came 2 hours before tip-off?
yep. And then you're worried, like the NBA is gonna be worried about that player. Coronavirus can't be sending that around.
Holy crap!
I don't know. I assume there's there's different parts to it, but from what the players are saying, it's essentially just pettiness is what's going to happen with it, because once a player figures out who told on them, now it's retaliation and it's just back and forth. I mean,
right. Well, which is why it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Which is why it's anonymous. But at the same time, like if you are, if you're a player and you did something maybe questionable, you know that there's probably only a handful of people, up to 10 people that saw you do it. So you're probably going to have an idea of like, okay, who is the snitch in this situation?
Right.
But no, I didn't even think about that possibility of somebody being accused right before tip-off. Like, hopefully nobody does that, because that's just really
that's
low.
Poor sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Right. It's Bush League. It is. And I mean, I'm not going to say I don't know. Obviously, I don't know any NBA players personally or anything like that, but I don't see that being an issue. I really don't know why the NBA would put this in place at all, because a lot of the NBA players and a lot of like people put this out there kind of publicly. The NBA is a brotherhood, like even if you're playing across from somebody, they switch jerseys. Like Charles Barkley's famous lines is, "We would never do that." When I played against Michael Jordan, I didn't like Michael Jordan. Blah blah blah. I would never give him my jersey. I would never take his jersey. Okay, whatever.
Hashtag, go ahead and rate that Charles Barkley impersonation down in the comments. Give me a rating on 1 to 10. Arguably the worst. Charles and Barkley. He didn't even attempt to try to do the Charles Barkley. That's
something
awesome.
Something he would say versus how he would say it. It's okay though.
No, that's funny. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I got you.
But the last thing I saw that you said was Zion apparently left the situation.
Yeah, so Zion is out currently. His family is dealing with some kind of medical emergency. The Pelicans released a statement. The statement basically just said, we're not going to go into the type of medical emergency or who the medical emergency involves. It is someone in Zion's family, and he is returning home to help them cope with whatever is going on. I would assume it's either mom or his stepdad. Because those are the only two people that he has like openly been like emotional and invested with publicly anyway. But you don't know, and they haven't released anything. But hopefully it's just something small and he can come back. But if he doesn't come back, he might face some of those penalties.
Yeah, how does that work right now? Like, so since he left, what's the situation?
Yeah, so he has to take a series of COVID tests in a row. I think it's 2 days in a row. If he's gone, he has to take 4 tests. If he's gone for more than 2 days, he has to take some number of tests based on the number of days he's gone. And if he's gone for more than, or if he misses tests, then he has to quarantine for between 8 days and 2 weeks. If he makes all his tests, he has all negative tests, he's good to go. He's coming back to the bubble, quarantining for just 48 hours, and then he's back in play. So it kind of just depends. I mean, there's a whole lot of ifs and situations that could come up. But
yeah, and so that's good that this is happening now and not 10 days from now. Like 10 days from now, like that could be killer. Obviously, right now it sucks that he's not going to be practicing with his team, but and even when he gets back, I'm sure that he'll make all his tests. I mean,
yeah,
it's way too important to not do your test right now, and seems like a really intelligent dude that wouldn't
Yeah.
mess this up.
And regardless, he'll have someone reminding him, like, "Hey, you just turn in your COVID test today." Like everyone
Yeah.
at that organization has his phone number right now. Like they're
Oh,
gonna
God,
have constant contact. They can't lose him. I mean, Memphis is coming. Trailblazers are coming. I mean, they're both already ahead. Like they can't lose any ground.
Ownership
there,
is they're going to be on him. That is for certain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think this is actually working out pretty decent. It sounds from the sounds of it. I mean, only 2 out of the 322 players tested positive so far. Only 2 players have been quarantined so far. How long have they been there now? Is it almost a week?
So Russell Westbrook, yeah, I think he's on 8 days now, so he's got a little bit less than a week left. He might be a little bit closer to 10 days. But the other player, I don't.
No. I was talking about like how long have all the players been there? When did they arrive in Orlando?
Some of them came as soon as like July 2nd.
July 2nd.
Others, it kind of depends.
They've been trickling in
where your players. Yeah, because they didn't have all 24 teams in there yet. 22 teams.
Well, being there for 2 weeks then, from July 2nd to the 16th, only having 2 players test positive, and only 2 players breaking the rules so far, like, I would say that's actually pretty good thus far. So, yeah, that's very positive news for how the bubble potentially will work out for once games get started, because we all want NBA to return, sports in general. But, yeah, all want NBA. So that's exciting. I'm glad. That's a lot of good news. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. The like button is on this side for mobile. If you have any of your own thoughts or questions, comment down below. We may just answer it next video. Thanks. See ya.